Megan, thank you for joining me. Glad y'all are back. Today we're gonna be walking around doing some wild foraging. And just remember, in today's video, I'm not a doctor. This ain't medical advice. I'm just showing y'all some plants, some of your resources that if you live in the woods, you're surrounded by everything you need. When you go out foraging, make sure you got you some good resources. I love both of these books right here, especially this one. This one has uses and everything for the things that we'll find. And get you a good plant identifier app on your phone. You just never know what you might find when you're wandering through the woods. There's this old ladder. I didn't even know that was here. And I'm just right up through the woods from my chickens that are down in the garden. Apparently there was a deer stand in the fork of this tree at one time. I'm assuming that's what that's for. Thought that was pretty cool. All right, so I'm still just right here at my chickens, but right here in the edge of the woods, because they're down here on a creek bottom, we have a northern spice bush. That's this right here. And this right here is an edible plant. And so, you know, I made sure my plant identifier, and now I've looked in my book. So this book, you know, find it in here. And the spice bush, you can use any parts of it, the bark, the flowers, the leaves, the berries that come on it later in the summer. And it looks like the Indians used it for a lot of stuff. I'm gonna read you this little passage here. Cherokee and other Native Americans used all plant parts as diaphoretic for treating colds, coughs, cramps, delayed meniscus, croup, measles. Bark tea used as a blood purifier and for sweating, colds, rheumatism, anemia. Settlers used berries as allspice substitute. Medicinally, the berries were used for flatulence and colic. So if you fart a lot, come out here and chew you on some bark, okay? The oil from the fruits was applied to bruises and muscles for joint pain. Twig tea was popular for colds and fevers. I mean, so this right here has a whole lot of uses. I love that book, y'all. Love that book. So, yeah, this is a northern spice bush here, and everything's just starting to bloom. So, you know, there's a few things that we can gather right now, and a few things you have to wait till a little later in the summer. So, for this, any part of it could be used. And I mean, these just grow wild right around here and have a lot of different uses. Next, how many of y'all have seen these right here? Little violets. I'm sure they're all over your yard and everywhere this time of year. Violets are completely edible as well. You can actually make a beautiful purple jelly out of these purple flowers right here. Make you a nice tea from the wild violets. And they're a great antioxidant and anti-inflammatory. Now, isn't that amazing? Your yard's probably covered in them. All right. How many of y'all know what this patch of stuff is right here? Chickweed. So, you know, most time people are killing chickweed because they don't want it in their yard, they don't want it around their house. I'm gonna tell y'all, chickweed is excellent. I've used it before. You can cook it like turnip greens. It's completely edible. And I'm gonna read a passage from my book here that tells you what it's used for. It's traditionally used for an expectorant to relieve coughs. This is if you make it in a tea. Rheumatism, or it's good if you make a salve for boils, things like that. It's said to help obesity, and science confirms that a methanolic extract of the plant, like a tincture, produces physical competition in the GI tract to reduce fat absorption. Now, ain't that crazy? Stuff that we're going around killing. You can eat it, you can make teas out of it, you can make salves out of it, tinctures. I'll make sure to post my herb video showing y'all how to do some of those things in the top of this video, okay? And in the description, if you want to go out and forage for wild edibles, just make sure that wherever you're foraging at, that there's no fear of any pesticides being sprayed on it. So don't be going and getting chickweed out of the sidewalk crack, you know. but this right here has not been touched. It's down here on a creek. I see signs of a deer was walking through here. I just love walking through the woods, y'all. See those deer tracks? There's some kind of track. I don't know what that is. Little raccoon tracks. Alright, y'all, look at here. Now, if you know anything about wild foraging, you know the benefits of a dandelion. That is something, it's amazing to me that, I'm going to tell you a fun fact here. Monsanto makes Roundup. Monsanto also gives money to the pharmaceutical companies, okay? But a dandelion, you can use the whole thing. It's edible down to the root. And we're going to dig this one up, okay? But heart benefits, blood pressure benefits. It's just amazing. The list goes on. So we're going to look up in my little book. We're going to read what it says. You can make dandelion jelly. It tastes just like honey. Come out here and pick you some dandelions. You can make dandelion tinctures, dandelion tea, root tea. Let me find it in here. Let's look. Fresh root tea, traditionally used for liver, gallbladder, kidneys, and bladder ailments. It's a diuretic. Also used as a tonic for weak and impaired digestion and constipation. A dried root can be used like coffee. It can be ground up and you can make it like coffee. Leaf tea is for anemia and a blood purifier. And actually, in this book, I had read this a few days ago and I had actually forgot, but there is actually a recent study about dandelions, and it has been proven that dandelion extract increases your red blood cells, and at high doses, like if you drink a lot of dandelion tea, will normalize white blood cells. Your white blood cells are what fights off infection. And so if your white blood cells are high, then you've got an infection. And dandelions have been proven to get that under control. Now, ain't that amazing? Again, I'm not a doctor, but I mean, stuff like this, when you go out looking, it's amazing to me, folks. And you should just do your research. Get you some books, go out walking, and find what God has given us to take care of ourselves. In this day and age, that's what we need to do, is take care of ourselves. So I'm going to see if I can dig up this root and show y'all what it looks like. Alright, so as these get older, as the summer goes on, when they get their little fuzzy tops, this will get bigger. But your dandelion root is long, kind of like a carrot, and you know, that's the root you'll use for your teas and things, and that you can use for coffee. I'm back up at the house, but see this stuff here? This stuff here is called, this is dead nettle. This is in the same family as stinging nettle and has a lot of great medicinal uses. It's totally edible. If you have seasonal allergies, go out and pick you some dead nettle and make you a nice tea. That and the hen bit, if you make a tea with both of those, it's excellent for seasonal allergies. And it tastes good too. So yeah, got a whole pile of it here. This is nothing that we planted. This just comes up by itself. Most people say it's a weed, but it's far from that. Right here, I saved one of my favorites for last. I hope you can see it in the video. I'm not going to harvest any right now, but this right here is Mullein rabbit tobacco. That's what I've always heard it called. I actually didn't know rabbit tobacco and Mullein were the same thing till just here recently. I had a couple friends who were like, "Hey Megan, you know that's the same as what you're buying, right?" I did not know. There's always room to learn. But yeah, so I've got a couple of these plants just throughout my pasture here. A lot of people used to kill them because they're weeds, but mullein is great for your respiratory tract as an expectorant. Perfect during cold and flu season. So when this gets a little older throughout the summer, I'll come out here and get me some and dehydrate the leaves and have it for cold and flu season. because it's excellent for that. So what I want you to get from today's video, the main thing is I want you to get you some books that you can actually lay your hands on, not on the internet, books, and get out here and study this stuff, y'all. You know, these hills, they'll take care of us. The way I look at it, wouldn't it be best to learn now while we don't have to know it, than to have to know it and have to learn right then when you need it? Is the way I look at it. So go ahead and get you some books, get you some literature, and get out in those woods and start hunting plants. It's a lot of fun. I love to do it with my kids, and you know, throughout the summer more things will be blooming with more uses, and that's just a drop in the bucket what I've showed you today as to the, you know, the medication and the food that you're surrounded by that God has naturally put here. So He'll take care of us, y'all. We just gotta know where to look and what to do. So